So today I did some muscle up training. I just kind of like decided I don't know, I just wanted to do some muscle ups. So I just kind of broke it down by doing kind of like one set of one. In total, I did 11 muscle ups. I did not film my first five muscle ups that I did because this was just kind of like in the moment, like, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna practice some muscle ups today. And then I decided like I'm just gonna let this be my workout for the day. But I did record the last five, and then I did like an extra one at the end of the workout, just to see how it felt like after already kind of fatiguing myself and whatnot. But yeah, one thing is that's very important when it comes to the ring muscle up is the false grip. The false grip. I'd say when training with the false grip, the ring apparatus is probably the best apparatus to practice the false grip on because of the curvature of it. So the curvature of the ring is kind of more natural for your wrist and your hand to follow along and to lay on when doing the false grip. Something like on a bar, it's going to be a lot more stressful on the joints and on the tendons. And I'm not saying that it's not stressful at all with the rings, because I definitely did feel my wrist and my forearms really having to flex. So of course you want to make sure you actually do a good amount of stretching, and to chalk up, probably try and get something on your hand to make your hands dry, or something on the rings so your false grip can be a lot better. I have chalk. I do have like liquid chalk, but I'm like literally running out of that stuff. So I also heard that a great alternative, or a good alternative to chalk, was like dry dirt. And in my backyard, we have like patches of just like where there's no grass growing, because we would have like stuff over that. So I was just picking at that dirt and just rubbing it on my hands. And it's very important to get whatever chalk at the bottom of your hand, because that's where your hand is going to be resting on the false grip. So with the pull-ups that I did here, I kind of did them a bit more explosively at the top to kind of mimic how you would when you were doing a ring muscle up. But at later use, on later sets, I found that it was just better just to do them more slow and controlled, because for one, that was easier on the wrist, and I was probably less likely to tear my hand. And two, it was just easier to hold. It was just easier to hold, because when I'm kind of bouncing up like that at the top of the ring pull up, it's almost as if I'm kind of having to reset my grip every time. But yeah, it's very important to try and practice like false grip pull ups when wanting to learn the ring muscle up, because that false grip position, just any ring movement in general, that false grip position is incredibly important. And at some point, you're actually going to get calluses. So here, this is when I realized like that me kind of bouncing up at the top of the pull up was not good, because it loosened the grip a lot. So instead, the last two reps here, I just did a bit more slow and controlled without bouncing up at the top. Yeah, one thing too is like, again, I still feel the skin of my wrist. I've done muscle up training before on the rings. I just never really, I just never really took it that far. But I at some point I did start to develop calluses, just a little bit. And at some points, I would actually get tears and rips in my skin, and I would start bleeding there, and I couldn't like train the muscle up. And like, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to train the muscle up for like a week or something like that until it healed up enough. So it's definitely important to try and chalk up, and it's definitely important to try and get enough rest times in between kind of like each set, so that way again you don't rip and tear your hands, because you want to be able to basically train whatever movement for as long as you can. And when you can't use your hands, then it's like, you know, what can you do? You can't even do anything. So again, make sure you chalk up, make sure you stretch your wrist, make sure you prime yourself to be able to do this with the false grip. Again, I'm just really only talking about the false grip mostly. It's very important because you want to start small. So maybe you can start doing false grip rows, or you can start off doing false grip dead hangs if you're able to. Here I'm doing false grip dead hangs, and I have my feet on the ground, and it's still really difficult for me. So you can just kind of do like inverted rows with rings, and to just hold the false grip. You don't even have to do the row, just hold the false grip there. And then at some point progress to just doing false grip rows, and then possibly doing like false grip pull up negatives or whatever. You can see me like over here shaking my hands because just like so much blood and like just so much tension is getting to that wrist area. So again, like just be careful, be very careful. You don't want to rip up anything. You don't want to get any type of infections or whatever the case may be. So just kind of prime yourself, just develop the I guess like the neurological pathways, develop the ability to just get used to that. You know how you form calluses on your hands when just doing pull-ups and chin-ups. You'll get calluses, different types of calluses on your hands when you do the false grip. So just get used to that. Don't injure yourself. And I kind of plan to do muscle up training probably once a week, just so I can see how I feel and like just get better at it in general, specifically with the rings.